We are going to talk about Zambia, the country that I've visited the least. But it should still give you a good idea on what to expect in terms of safety when traveling, people there, photographic opportunities or places you can visit. So let's get started. People in Zambia are very helpful and enthusiastic about you visiting their country. It feels very safe to travel there and it's much cheaper than Botswana. Everything from groceries in the supermarkets to doing your self-drive safari. Very good in that sense. And it also has quite a few parks that you can visit to do your self-drive adventures or photography, like Kafue, where I went, to South Luangwa. I really wanted to go there, as well as Lower Zambesi, but unfortunately I couldn't because it was just a lack of time. For safety, I never felt a dodgy vibe or had a feeling of not feeling safe. Even in downtown Lusaka, when I was doing my morning jog one morning, I accidentally found myself in a shabby neighborhood. But people cheered me along and it was all high fives as I ran past them, so chuckles and grins there, and a big star for Zambia when it comes to safe driving in Zambia. I had the impression that it would be just potholes and very, very bad roads, but that was not the case. The roads were actually quite good. From Lusaka to Kafue was about 4.5 hours and it was okay. I did not find any potholes, but what you should be aware of is that the speed limit signs, they are lacking, so you have to sort of guess the speed limit. So if it's close to a city or a small town, it's usually 60, that's what I learned, and outside of that you can drive 80 to 100, but to be safe I just drove 80 all the way and 60 in the towns. I did also get a fine for doing an illegal U-turn. There was no sign there and other people also did it, but I got fined. That was in Lusaka, so I was very aware of not doing any more U-turns after that, but that's a different story. It just happens and it is what it is. Paid a fine, I was on my way, not a problem. I have limited knowledge here since I only visited Kafue, but the lay of the land there was great. You had these open forests. You could definitely see the potential. If you had a good sighting, you could get some amazing images there. I stayed in a camp called Mayakyuku camp. That was also very nice. I can highly recommend that if you're going to Kafue. And it's one of the better camps I've stayed in Africa as a whole. So that's another big star for Zambia right there. However, there's not much game there. You find the usual suspects such as puku, the odd impala, sometimes an elephant. I sort of expected to see a lot of elephants there because it's so close to the river and it's quite remote, but no. There are no giraffes, no rhinos. They have been poached a long time ago, unfortunately. You can hear lions. I did not find lions, but I heard them like a few nights, I think. That was awesome. And on the last day, the very last day of my stay there, I had an amazing leopard sighting all to myself. Since not so many people go there, you will have the chance of getting these amazing sightings to yourself, but they are few and far between, unfortunately. On the note of not being much game there, I know that African Parks has taken over management of many of the African parks in several countries that are struggling a little bit with their game. So they're reintroducing game or populations of animals into these parks, and Kafue is one of those parks, and that is to me a very good sign. So hopefully in the future we can see an increase of animals there, and when that happens, this park has enormous potential for wildlife photographers. It is really nice there. Parks of interest would be South Luangwa, where I did not go, also Lower Zambesi. I think South Luangwa is the most popular parks for self-drivers, and they also have nice lodges there, but you can find everything you need about these parks and camping there down in the description, where I shall provide you with a link. Oh yes, so I would definitely go back to Zambia for photography, wildlife photography, just to visit South Luangwa and Lower Zambesi. We have 4 fees that you have to pay. The first one is the conservation fee of $20. Then you have the car fee of $15. Then you have the camping fee, in my case at Mayakyuku camp, that was $30. In addition, You have to pay a sleepover fee of $5 if you are camping in the park overnight. So that's a total of $70 just to camping, plus you have to buy your own food, and there is the cost of the vehicle and fuel and all of that. Luckily, food is much cheaper than in Botswana, so there is that. On the nice to know thing about Zambia is that crossing borders is a hassle. I think we spent 2 or 3 hours just to cross the border because it takes time to register the vehicle as a temporary import of the vehicle, which is just, I don't know why they do it so hard for a foreign registered vehicle to go self-driving in Zambia. It makes no sense. We actually had a guy helping us and we paid him $25, and I would definitely do that again. It made it so much smoother. I talked to people that did not go for the option of having a guy helping you, and they had waited there for 3 or 4 hours, if not longer. So have a guy help you, pay him $25, and you will skip all the lines and go talk to the right people, because we had to talk to quite a few people just to get through. Also keep to what you guess is the speed limit. There are frequent speed traps, and I apparently guessed right all the time because I was not caught or anything like that. I just had that one U-turn fine. And in the low season, you could easily rock up at any gates and get a campsite. There was plenty of availability at Mayakuyuku. I booked in advance because I wanted to make sure, and I did not know, but there should be plenty of available spots if you want to be spontaneous. In Kafue National Park, you will find a lot of annoying tsetse flies. Those are basically armored flies, very hard to kill, and they give a nasty bite. Not very pleasant at all. They're not dangerous, but something to know. So if you roll down the window, you will have a lot of tsetse flies in your car. But it's not dangerous in Zambia at all. I liked it. I liked the people there. They're friendly and helpful. And I have to give it a 6 out of 10. It's beautiful and has a lot of potential, but there is definitely a lot less game than I anticipated. And there is a hassle at the border, plus you have to guess the speed limit, and there's just small things that I did not like 100%. But like I said, it's very beautiful once you get out in the park, and it has a lot of potential. So with African parks in a few years, with their management, I think this will be a great country to go on your self-drive adventures. So if you have any questions, as always, leave them down below. I shall provide all the links that I think will be useful for travelers down there. And subscribe if you aren't already, and I shall see you in the next video in this series. That will probably be Namibia. Yeah, let's go for Namibia. A very good country to do your self-drive adventures in.